Joining us as always in the studio, we've got Bill from Halftime. How's it going, Bill?
Fantastic. Another beautiful morning here.
Yeah, here we are.
Ready to go with, so as you guys hear from me every week, we've got thousands of beers and ciders over at Halftime. This week we're going to switch it up a little bit. We've talked about 3 beers so far with you guys, an IPA, a couple IPAs actually, a Witta. We're going to switch it up and we're actually going to talk about cider this week. One of my absolute favorite ciders. I absolutely adore this one. Nice and local for us, coming out of Highland. This is Bad Seed Dry.
Ooh, okay, Bad Seed. And I see you have a guest with you.
I do. We've got Bram from Bad Seed.
Hey there.
Hey, welcome, Bram.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Very cool. So you're the what is it, a ciderist? A ciderer?
Cideroni? I don't know. No, I'm one of the owners and director of sales and marketing at Bad Seed Cider. As he said, we're based out of Highland, right across the river. So it's a pleasure to come in and talk to people so local.
Yeah, we're glad to have you.
Yeah.
Now, what did you bring? Because this is
So I brought a couple
spectacular
cans
looking
of
here.
our flagship Bad Seed Dry Hard Cider. Again, these cans are available at your local Halftime, both up here in Mamaroneck. It's our flagship. Like I said, it's fermented with a Sauvignon Blanc yeast, and it's fermented to full dryness, so there's actually 0 grams of sugar in this. It's completely sugar-free.
Really? Now, it's got a really nice, bright color to
Yep.
it. I really
So
like this.
we're actually growing the apples on the orchard at Wilklow Farms, which is directly over the hill from where your radio towers are.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
We could
it's
probably
right,
see you
yeah,
if we got on the
it's
roof
right
here.
there.
Wow, this is really. So you're saying there's no sugar
There's
in
no
that?
sugar at all. So with cider, it's the same fermentation process as with a wine, and so we're actually taking the sugar, adding the yeast, in this case a Sauvignon Blanc yeast, and then fermenting to full dryness. So all of the sugar that was in the apples to begin with is then turned into alcohol.
So where does that sweetness come from then? Is that the yeast?
No, well, it's a little bit from the yeast, but it's mostly just from the varietals of apples that we're using itself. My partner, Albert Wilklow, like I said, is a 6th-generation farmer. His family's been on the same land since 1855 right there in Highland. And so these apples that we're using in the fermentation process are the same apples that they bring down to the city and farmers markets down there. So primarily Empires, Cider Reds, and Macoons. So even though we're fermenting to full dryness, you still get that delicious apple taste that you're accustomed to, and we don't have to obfuscate that with back sweetening or anything.
So it's that blend of the different apples that
Exactly,
really
yeah.
makes that flavor. This is incredible.
Yeah, it's a beautiful cider. It really pops. Ton of flavor to it, and I love this as a counterpoint to what a lot of people think of for cider as being that just overly sweet, terribly sugary kind of drink. And I find this one to just be wonderful character. It's got a lot of different flavor to it. You really can taste kind of the heritage of the apples come through, and I just love that. So always been one of my favorites.
Can people go to Bad Seed? It's open to the public?
Yes, they can. So we have 3 tap rooms actually, but the most local one is our home cidery, which is at 43 Bailey's Gap Road in Highland, just right across.
I know
it's
where
right
Bailey's
there.
Gap Road
Yeah,
is.
right around the
Okay.
corner from Rocking Horse Ranch.
Got
and
it, right.
We're open every Saturday and Sunday from noon to 7 on Saturdays and noon to 6 on Sundays. We also have various events and farm dinners throughout the year, and we have a full-time tap room down in Brooklyn as well, if any of you guys are commuting down there, in Crown Heights, which is open Wednesday through Sunday. And in
very
the
hip.
fall, the biggest thing is that we just opened a Bad Seed Farm Bar, which is on the orchard itself. So it's only open two months a year on Saturdays and Sundays in September and October. You can actually come out, go pick your own apples, apple picking at Wilklow Orchards, and then sit out in the orchard and drink cider from the very same apples that you just picked.
Oh, really?
It's a lot of fun.
That's really
You know,
The
cool.
whole experience.
I might actually enjoy apple picking. Then.
Yeah.
I was getting roped into doing that, but if I know there's cider waiting for me at the bar, that's
Oh
great.
yeah, no, it's a great
That's really
day
cool.
out. Yeah, and it's become a really fun local tradition as well.
So now, what other variety? Do you have other varieties of cider that
We
you make
do.
too?
Yeah, so at our home cidery, we're at any point in time we'll have 10 different ciders on draft. Down in Brooklyn, we'll have 12 different of our ciders on
Wow.
draft. We also carry a bunch of local New York State craft beers, but the only one that we really distribute, and that's true across all the markets that we're in, which is now New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, and we're just about to launch in New Hampshire. But the only thing that we distribute mostly is our flagship Bad Seed Hard Cider. If you want to try any of the other stuff, you have to come to us.
You gotta come to you
Yeah.
and hang out. This is really good, and you know we've been doing like different ciders and stuff recently because it just seems to be such a big, the big wave of the new thing, right?
Yeah.
And I haven't had one that is quite. It's like got a little bit like wine notes to it. Is it that yeast that you're
It
using?
is, yeah. So again, it's a Sauvignon Blanc yeast, and it's the same fermentation process. Again, like with us, we definitely make cider for non-cider drinkers because, as he said, a lot of people think of cider, and unfortunately, traditionally in America, cider has been incredibly sweet, and not because of even the sugar in the apples itself. They're literally just adding sugar. Like Angry Orchard has, I think, 30 grams of sugar per 12 ounces. In a lot of the varietals that they offer, this has 0. So I mean, that's a huge difference. It's like drinking a soda.
Yeah, this is.
And so-
and you wouldn't know that there's not sugar here. The
No,
flavor
Because of the apple
profile is
taste. And again,
so
these
great.
apples are grown right in Highland. I mean, it's as local can get.
I
So.
love it. I love the local aspect of it. This is really delicious stuff. So if you want to try this, head on over to Halftime and grab
Absolutely.
yourself. It comes in these really cool black cans too, which would be great to take to the beach with you.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect package for the summertime here. We've got the regular dry, we've got some of the hopped, we carry some of their barrel aged cider as well, which is really tremendous stuff, has great complexity to it. So kind of a rotating stock of different stuff from Bad Seed over at Halftime. So
And
come see us, come see Bad Seed.
How much alcohol's in here?
It's strong. It's 6.9%.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's stronger than
I was going to say, I'm
yeah.
starting to get warmed up here a little bit.
It's like a morning drink.
Good
Yeah.
morning.
That's great. All right. Well, Brent, thanks so much for coming by. If people want to learn more about Bad Seed, you guys have a website or?
BadSeedHardCider.com. You can follow us on all the socials, all of them, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, are all at Bad Seed Cider.
All right. Awesome. Thanks so much. And stop down there at Halftime and check out all that great stuff. Route 9 in Poughkeepsie and down in Mamaroneck. Bill, we'll talk to you next week.
Perfect, we'll see you then.
All right.
Thanks, guys.